There's more to imagine when you listen. So let your imagination soar with Audible. Audible has audio titles from every genre that will inspire you to imagine new worlds, possibilities, and ways of thinking. As an Audible member, you get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. Enjoy an exciting reawakening of a beloved classic with the Audible original, David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. Produced by Academy Award-winning director Sam Mendes. Starring Ncuti Gatwa, Helena Bonham Carter, and Theo James. This adaptation breathes new life into a familiar tale. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500.
Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day Faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
Fall is here, and if you want to sleep in the coziest bed imaginable, you have to start with Boll & Branch's best-selling 100% organic cotton sheets. You'll spend every night wrapped in buttery, breathable softness and feel your sheets get even softer with every wash. Discover the difference with Boll & Branch's 30-night guarantee. Plus, for a limited time, get 20% off and free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com with code WONDERY20. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Welcome to How to Survive, the show that teaches you how to survive the stuff that can kill you.
Like alligator attacks, or crazy guys on a golf course, or high cholesterol.
And the stuff that just makes you wish you were dead.
Like losing your key to the city, or strangers at your door, or exploding popcorn.
Ooh, I love popcorn, though.
I do too. I think if you're gonna die, it might not be the worst way to die.
Don't eat microwave popcorn, though.
No, they changed it. The bags are safe now.
They don't have PFAS in it anymore?
They changed those bags.
I still don't. I like to.
I've looked it up.
I like to pop it myself. It just tastes so much better.
I know. We should get a machine.
It's so easy.
Or you just do it in a pot.
You can do it in a pot. I have a popper.
Yeah, we should do the popper.
I can send you a link to the one we got.
All right.
It's great.
Do it.
It's not expensive and it's so yummy. Should we play the theme song?
I definitely think we should.
These intros keep getting longer.
They sure do.
Ground is shaking under our feet, mountains on fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Gobbling down Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive. Ooh, how to survive. Ooh, how to survive.
Is Rafi alive? Let's start on that. Oh, you don't have kids.
Rafi's a children's.
I like to drink. Oh, no. Eat.
Those can't be the words.
No, eat apples and bananas. Remember that one?
Yes. Apples and... For those of you just joining us, which is everyone, we're talking...
Some people come in later.
and Yanni.
Rafi after dark, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I like to drink.
I like to eat apples and bananas. Yeah.
And then it goes opals and bananas. It does through all the vowels.
Oh, okay. I wonder if that's his song. Is that his song? Do
It
you
might
think it's
not
original?
be. It might not be his.
Because I know that song, and I don't think I've ever listened to Rafi.
I don't know if we did either, but somehow I know who he is. We never got into Rafi was earlier, I think, than our kids.
Yeah, I think so.
He was a tastemaker before.
He's an influencer.
Yeah, he was one of the earliest influencers. Yeah. I know you guys probably want to know what happened at my debate watch party.
Yes, we do. Well, we sort of know, but the audience needs to know.
Yeah, I thought I'd just wrap that story out.
When we last left you, it was the night of the debate.
Yes.
And Chris was on her way home, didn't know she had successfully gotten rid of all these people. So what happened?
Well, as you know, I had sent out an email to cancel.
Right.
And we were waiting to see if I'd get murdered. I'm here, so I didn't.
Or are you a ghost?
I might be a ghost. I am wearing white. It was just Alex and I watching the debate because Sven and Benji had soccer practice.
Oh, gotcha.
And Olivia.
Olivia went to soccer practice?
No, she was watching with us.
Oh.
Just Alex, me, Olivia, Georgie the quail, Mandy the cat.
Okay.
Turtle and Snake can't come out.
They're
watch.
apolitical.
They are, you know what? They're undecided voters.
Then they really should have watched it.
They should have. We should have piped it into the bedrooms.
So apathetic.
I don't have a good Sonos system. I'm sorry.
What's a Sonos system?
It's a way to listen to music. Sonos.
Oh, okay.
In your house.
Oh, okay.
So we're all set up, you know, on the couch. 5:58. Knock, knock, knock. And I just knew. I'm like, of course, someone's showing up because I'm not expecting anyone. People don't just show up at my house,
Right.
as you know. So I go to the door. I open it up, not fully.
Yeah.
There's a little man standing there, covered in sweat, like sweating.
Oh, no.
Buckets.
Well, probably just walking up your driveway.
He had to walk up Everest.
Yeah. Walk up Everest.
That's my driveway.
It's 100 degrees.
And then my
last week.
steps, which is like K2 Summit.
Yeah.
And then I say, hello. I'm here for the debate watch party. Is this the debate watch party? And I say, oh, so yeah, I sent out an email a couple days ago that I had to cancel the debate watch party. Oh yeah, I didn't get that email. So can I come in and watch the debate watch party? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, you know, my daughter's sick. Little white lie. So yeah, I had to cancel it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind. I'm not worried about getting sick. So can I come in?
Oh my God.
And I go, oh no, we're not even gonna watch it because you know
That's so funny.
she's sick. Oh, are you sure? Because you know I'm not worried about getting sick, and I just, you know, I really want to watch the debate. And at this point, I'm like, wait. Now I've already said
No,
I
3
sent
times.
out an
Yeah.
email.
Right.
We're not even gonna watch it.
Right.
My daughter's sick and it's canceled. What's happening here?
Right.
And I was like, yeah, no,
Good.
we're not watching it. And I sent out an email. It's canceled. I'm sorry, but I hope you find somewhere to watch it. And he was like, oh, okay. All right. And I just closed the door because I was like, I'm sorry. I mean,
No, you did the right thing.
You know-
especially with your husband not being home.
yeah. And it wasn't like he said, and I really love your podcast, How to Survive.
Then you would have let
That
him
would
in.
change everything.
That would change everything. I would let
She
him
brings
in.
out the snacks.
Yeah, come on in. Benji thought that. Benji thought that it was everybody that was coming were people who listened to our show. He was like, "Oh, is it people who listen to How to Survive are coming to watch?" I was like, "No, I'm not. It's not something I'm doing for the show. I just made a mistake."
Oh my God. Oliver thought it was the funniest thing. I want you to know he has told the story to his friends because he thinks it's so fucking funny that
Oh
you
my
did
God.
this. Like he thought it was funny
Yeah.
before someone showed up at your house. Because
Okay.
I told him on the, like, somehow we were walking home with, I think we went to Whole Foods that night. So we were walking home
Yeah.
and I told Jimmy and Oliver what happened. And this was
Yes.
before. And he was like, wait, what? He's like, how is that possible? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what she thought she was doing.
It's very easy to do. It turns out.
And then later he was like, wait, what was the campaign again? Not the or whatever
Yeah.
you signed up with, because he wanted to accurately tell the story
Yes.
to his friends.
Move
So-
on moveon.org, I believe.
Oh, I
no,
thought it was-
it's
no,
motivate.
it was-
motivate? No.
Mobilize.
Mobilize.
It was
Well, this can be the cherry on the top of his sundae
Yeah.
of my mom has this friend that's so dumb. You're not going to believe what she did.
Well, he knew because we were about to sit down and watch it when
Yes.
you texted that someone had shown up.
Well, now
so
he
I was
can
like,
know.
I was like, guys, someone's at Chris's house.
Yeah.
And he was like, no way. He thought it was so.
It's like it was some tiny Danny DeVito-ish man.
Yeah. But not funny. Danny DeVito with dead eyes.
Oh, no. Did he seem alarming?
Well, he didn't. It's not alarming, more just like a little off and a
Okay.
little sad. Like,
Yeah.
like a lonely guy.
Did any part of you think I'm going to let this guy in?
No.
Okay.
Not even for 1 second.
Okay.
Not even
Good.
for 1 second.
Gasping for his final breaths on her porch.
He he falls down the stairs. Well, also just the idea that he's still asking to come in.
Yeah, it's super weird.
That is
You know,
very
and like, I don't
strange.
mind getting sick.
So did you miss the beginning because you were talking to this Schmendrick?
No, because it was like 5:58 and it only lasted 2 minutes.
Okay.
The exchange was pretty short.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris in the
Yeah,
background.
I'm like, smash the door
Gotta
in
go.
his face. Gotta go.
We're listening to something else.
This morning, the cat was on my chest,
Stealing your soul.
as usual, and the dog was in the crook of my arm.
Oh my God.
With her head on my shoulder.
Oh my God.
That
You
was-
lucked out.
I did.
Because you don't know if they're
don't.
going to get along.
No. Well, I wouldn't have been able to keep Olivia at our house if they didn't.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we bought her dog bed. I think it's
happening.
guys, I think it's
You gave her a key.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, speaking of that, I read last night that the mayor of I don't know what city wants Diddy Combs, Sean Diddy, whatever the fuck his name is, to give him back the key to the city. Is that is it an actual thing? There's
To give back a key?
I mean, there's a literal key.
This doesn't
I
really
think
do
it's
anything.
ceremonial.
Yeah,
but
my
it's
stepdad
like
has a key to the city.
He does?
Oh yeah, it's all we talk about when I visit.
Is it like a skeletal key that gets you into anywhere? Like it
Not-
gets you into the library? It gets no.
the
No,
public
it doesn't.
buildings
It's,
are
it's
actually-
just like a pretend key that's on a plaque and hanging on the wall.
Okay.
It's to say you're a good person and you've done well.
What did he do?
My stepdad has done like a lot of things for the town, and I think he maybe ran for mayor once, and he was like the head of the. Oh God, it's one of those like Lions clubs, but it's not the Lions Club, but it's one of those veterans things. and
Okay.
he's very involved. So he's very civically involved. So they honored him for that.
But he can't be mayor. You cannot be mayor, but here's a key.
No,
Yeah.
we're not going to let you be mayor.
No.
It just cracks me up the idea that he's going to get his affairs in order. He's getting ready to go to jail. Got to stop by the mayor mansion.
Bailiff, I've
Wait.
got one more thing to do.
I gotta
I
go
gotta get
deliver
this
this
key
key
back.
back.
Oh wait, I have to say something.
Yes.
Guess who listened to an episode of our show after we've been on? How many years?
I don't know.
2.5.
Your husband?
No, he's been listening.
No, I know. Who?
My dad.
Whoa.
Do you want to know how he told me?
How did he find it? Okay, yeah. How did he tell you?
He goes, he FaceTimed me, which was also weird.
It's probably an accident.
He goes, I was listening to this podcast. I go, oh, okay, cool. I go, what was it? Well, it had this guy and a woman and you. I go, oh, my podcast? Yeah. And the guy was like talking about school and how he got treated badly. And I think he was some kind of comedian, maybe. He talked a lot about himself. I go, oh, yeah, Jamie Kaler. That was the show we just did. He goes, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just staring at you because I'm not comprehending what you're saying. But was he acting like he didn't know you had a podcast?
He knows. I mean, I call him almost every Tuesday when I leave here and I say,
Just finish the podcast.
just finished the podcast. I don't, when people of our parents' age,
Yeah.
I don't know if they don't understand what podcasts are.
They don't.
And I don't know if he understands what happens when I leave the studio, like what I've been doing.
He clearly doesn't.
It's fine.
Right.
So he goes, yeah, it was like 45 minutes. I go, yeah, it's a long podcast.
Did he listen from the beginning?
feel like he
Because it's not
skipped to the
45
middle.
minutes. Yeah.
I go, cool. Well, thanks for listening. And then that was it. And then later we talked about more things.
Oh my
and then when the conversation was ending, I go, oh, well, thanks for listening to my podcast. I hope you liked it. He goes, yeah, I had a few chuckles.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I was like, thanks.
Oh, my God.
But I was like, well, I guess that's better than like he's the only person in my immediate family who's ever listened or like really acknowledged that I have a podcast. I mean,
With
maybe
friends like these.
yeah. At one time, a like distant relative I saw at a family reunion goes, listen to your podcast. You know, where it's like angry almost or like hostile. I'm like, oh, thanks. Like, do I pay you? Like, where you're kind of
Jesus.
like supposed to feel like do I owe you something? It's such a
Well,
weird.
it's so weird to say I'd listen, but then not compliment you. Or
Yeah.
ask a question or anything. It's
No,
fair.
it's so weird. It's so Midwestern though, because it's like the Midwest is like, what do you need this? Like, it's like, why are you wanting this attention? Why would you draw attention to yourself?
Right.
You're not supposed to draw attention to yourself. You're not supposed to want praise. You're supposed to be always like stoic and humble. And so
But does your dad feel that way?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Not as much, I don't think, but like this idea of like drawing attention to yourself is something that's like embarrassing.
Right.
It's every interaction with my family is awkward.
Yeah.
Mostly. And I've lived here 20 years and they still barely ask about what I do.
Yeah.
I mostly just get to hear about how great my brother is. So
amazing. Are we ready for today's topic?
I would love to talk about today's topic. Are you kidding me?
All right. Well, the glasses have been exchanged.
I can see that.
And the topic is how to survive high cholesterol.
I don't even want that. I have my doctor said your cholesterol's gotten higher, but it's not anything you have to do anything about, and it's genetic. So
we're going to get into that a little bit, but I love when the doctor says you don't have to do anything about it.
Same.
That's the best.
I know. I was like, do I have to change my eating habits? Nope.
Good. Do you know what it's called, the scientific term for high cholesterol? I love this word.
Is it Latin based?
Yes.
Okay. No, I still don't know.
Hyperlipidemia.
Whoa.
Lipid. You hear the word lipid in there.
Yes.
When it comes to cholesterol, it's important to know your numbers.
Okay.
Hyperlipidemia means your blood has too many lipids or fats.
Oh, I don't want fat in my blood.
No, such as cholesterol and triglycerides. One type of hyperlipidemia is hypercholesterolemia, which means you have too much. Oh my God, my stomach's growling.
I heard it.
Which means just hearing about triglycerides, I'm like, ooh.
You're like, bring me some.
Bring
me some.
Which means you have too much non-HDL cholesterol and LDL bad cholesterol in your blood. This condition increases fatty deposits in arteries and risks and the risk of blockages. Another way your cholesterol numbers can be out of balance is when your HDL good cholesterol, because I never remember this, HDL good cholesterol level is too low.
So you can have the too low and too high.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that. With less HDL to remove cholesterol from your arteries, your risk of plaque and blockage increases. Atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, or ASCVD, involves plaque buildup in artery walls, which include conditions such as acute coronary syndrome and peripheral artery disease, and can cause a heart attack, stable or unstable angina, stroke, transient ischemic attack.
Ischemia?
Oh, ischemic.
I feel like it's a scheme.
Ischemic, you're right.
I think somebody in my family had that, and that's why I know how that's pronounced.
I think you're right. Attack or aortic aneurysm. I'm going to quickly go through what all those things are. Acute coronary syndrome. So you've never heard of acute coronary syndrome? You fucking idiot.
Oh, I'm so ashamed of myself.
You mean ACS?
But what about heart attack or unstable angina? These well-known conditions are both acute coronary syndromes. And ACS, you're right. An umbrella term for situations in which blood supplied to the heart muscle is suddenly blocked.
Oof.
The blockage is usually due to a blood clot and can be sudden and complete. If a clot forms due to a plaque rupture, a part of the clot may break away and clog one of the coronary arteries, causing ACS. Though less cause, some spasms in the coronary artery may also limit blood flow. Regardless of the cause of the blockage, it's damaging to the heart and a medical emergency. What are the symptoms? Chest pain or discomfort may immediately signal that something's wrong with your heart. But other symptoms may leave you unsure of what's wrong. Take note of these common signs of an acute coronary syndrome. Chest pain or discomfort, which may involve pressure, tightness, or fullness. Pain or discomfort in one or both arms. Now, I always thought it was the left arm, but they're saying one or both arms.
Why is it the arm?
I guess because...
Is that because of the pain, the blockage makes it hurt? I mean, is it connected to your arm some reason? Like,
I mean, all our veins get blood from our heart.
It's just weird that it would be your arms, and like, why not your legs too?
It's a really good question, but it can affect your jaw, neck, back, or stomach.
Oh, interesting.
Jaw, I think I've heard of, but the other things I didn't know.
Yeah.
shortness of breath, feeling dizzy or lightheaded, nausea, sweating. Take these symptoms seriously. If you experience chest pain or other symptoms, don't hesitate to call 911 immediately. Chest pain caused by acute coronary syndromes can calm. Oh my God, my stomach. Do you hear it?
Did you not have your bar this morning?
I did.
It must have been a 2-bar morning.
I guess so. Chest pain caused by acute coronary syndromes can come on suddenly, as is the case with a heart attack. Other times the pain can be unpredicted or get worse even with rest, but both hallmark symptoms of unstable angina. People who experience chronic chest pain resulting from decreased blood flow to the heart due to years of cholesterol buildup in their arteries can develop an acute coronary syndrome if a blood clot forms on top of the plaque.
So you can have
buildup.
years of chest pain.
Yes.
Like that's the one, the people eating those commercials I always see with the burgers that have the bacon on top. Like it's like meat with meat. And I'm like, oh.
It makes me want to throw up, those commercials.
Disgusting.
I'm really like, it just makes me want to barf.
I never think it looks good.
No, I guess the idea that it's sloppy is supposed to be appealing, but you're even making a face, Garen. You don't like it either.
Messy looking.
Remember that was Carl's Jr.'s whole thing for a while? And it was a very successful campaign, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was like, who is this for? It's just foul. It's just disgusting.
Yeah. Have you seen the trailer for The Substance?
I still haven't.
Yes.
Where Dennis Quaid is eating shrimp.
Yeah.
And they're like right here and it's smacking and
Yeah, I feel like that movie's going to be very visually disturbing.
Yeah.
Plus he's Ronald Reagan in that movie also. That's really upsetting.
Oh, wow, what a crossover.
He's just going to play Ronald Reagan from now on, right?
Reagan
and everything.
He probably thinks he's Ronald Reagan.
He might.
How is it diagnosed and treated? To determine what's causing your symptoms, a healthcare professional will take a careful medical history and give you a physical examination. If acute coronary syndrome is suspected, the following tests may be performed. A blood test can show evidence that heart cells are dying. An electrocardiogram, ECG or EKG, can diagnose an acute coronary syndrome by measuring the heart's electrical activity. If tests confirm blood flow to the heart has been blocked, your healthcare team will work quickly to restore it. Every second counts to prevent further damage to the heart muscle. Treatment for acute coronary syndrome includes medicines and a procedure known as angioplasty. This is what my dad had a million years ago, during which doctors inflate a small balloon to open the artery. A wire mesh tube called a stent may be permanently placed in the artery to keep it open. In hospitals not equipped to do angioplasty quickly, doctors may administer drugs to dissolve blood clots. I guess maybe that's a temporary solution.
My mom has a bunch of stents in her head.
Why?
She's had multiple aneurysms.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. Oh my God.
And then she has to have them checked every year.
Are they metal?
Yeah, I think so.
So like does she ever fly? She flies here.
Yeah.
Does she, like when she goes through the airport, does she have to explain that she has stents in her head?
I don't know.
Huh.
I don't think so.
Interesting.
It's a good question.
Okay. Periphery artery disease. Periphery artery disease, or PAD, is a circulation problem in the leg. It is a narrowing of the peripheral arteries that carry blood away from the heart to other parts of the body. The most common type is lower extremity PAD, in which blood flow is reduced to the legs and feet. Upper extremity PAD, arms, hands, and fingers, is less common, but affects about 10% of the population. Okay, there are two main types of angina you can be diagnosed with. Stable angina, like our former president. He has very stable angina.
Well, we know that. He's the most stable angina.
Most stable angina. More common, attacks have a trigger such as stress or exercise and stop within a few minutes of resting.
Okay.
Unstable angina, which is more serious, attacks are more unpredictable. They may not have a trigger and can continue despite resting. Some people develop unstable angina after having stable angina.
Well, that sounds scarier.
Yes. Stroke. A stroke occurs when a blood vessel that carries oxygen and nutrients to the brain is either blocked by a clot or bursts or ruptures. When that happens, part of the brain cannot get the blood and oxygen it needs, so it and the brain cells die. Did your mom have a stroke?
She had an aneurysm.
Right.
She's had more than one.
And it's just they have no idea why it happens, right?
That's correct.
And was it years and years ago?
Well, it's happened more than once, and maybe the first one was like 16 years ago. And then another was, I don't remember how many years ago, but then she has to have a MRI once a year to check.
This is so scary.
Sorry that my phone is ringing.
Oh, that's okay.
But it's turned off. It's just making a vibrate sound.
Right. Okay. TIA, a transient how did you say it? Ischemic attack, or TIA, is a temporary blockage of blood flow to the brain. The clot usually dissolves on its own or gets dislodged, and the symptoms usually last less than 5 minutes. Aneurysm. An aneurysm occurs when part of an artery wall weakens, allowing it to abnormally balloon out or widen. The causes of aneurysms are sometimes unknown. Some people are born with them. They can also be hereditary. Aortic disease or an injury may also cause an aneurysm. If you are diagnosed with high cholesterol, or your overall health and other risks such as smoking or high blood pressure will help guide treatment. These factors combine with high LDL cholesterol or low HDL cholesterol levels to affect your cardiovascular health. Your healthcare professional may use the ASCVD risk calculator to assess your risk of a coronary event in the next 10 years. The good news is that high cholesterol can be lowered, reducing the risk of heart disease and stroke. If you're 20 years or older, have your cholesterol tested and work with your healthcare professional to adjust your cholesterol levels as needed. Often, changing behaviors can bring your numbers into line. If lifestyle changes alone don't improve your cholesterol levels, medication may be prescribed.
Did your mom or does your dad have high cholesterol or the low problem?
I'm trying to think. I mean, he has heart problems, but I don't know if it's related to cholesterol. But I guess it would be, right? Yes, because he's on a statin. Yeah. So yes.
And your cholesterol, how's yours?
So it's funny. When I was young, I had my cholesterol. I guess it was just common. And they're like, oh, this is kind of high. And I'm like, I'm a dancer and I don't drink full fat milk or eat anything like that. And I think they were like, well, your cholesterol can change from the morning to the night. Like it could just completely change. And then I think maybe as an adult I've had it and maybe it's also a little high. But I mean, what could I possibly, oh, that's right. I think my doctor was like, that's right. This happened like a year or so ago. And she was like, yeah, cholesterol's a little high. You know, I would just watch your lifestyle. And I just laughed. I was like,
there's
what
nothing
the fuck else can I do?
Yeah, it's not a lifestyle thing.
I'm like,
they would have to put you on the medication.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with me. It's like, I barely eat meat. I barely eat fried foods. The worst thing I do is eat potato chips once in a while. I don't drink. Like, it's like, I'm not doing the things.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not something I'm doing.
Right.
I'm perfect, and you're the problem.
I know you are.
Doctor.
Okay, lifestyle changes include eating a heart-healthy diet. From a dietary standpoint, the best way to lower your cholesterol is to reduce your intake of saturated fat and trans fat. The American Heart Association recommends limiting saturated fat to less than 6% of daily calories and avoiding trans fats.
Well, I'm not doing math.
Good luck.
Fuck that.
Right.
You want me to do percentages?
Oh my God.
Then send me back to 4th grade. Like, I can't figure that out without a calculator.
Reducing these fats means limiting your intake of red meat and dairy products made with whole milk. Now, that's said, I do eat ice cream sometimes. So
and
it's
also
not like I never.
You need some.
And I eat cheese.
For bone health.
Right, that's true.
For bony bone health. Unless you're lactose intolerant, then you can find your calcium other ways.
Choose skim milk, low-fat, or fat-free dairy products instead. It also means limiting fried foods and cooking with healthy oils such as vegetable oil. A hearty health. Keep your hearty healthy. A heart-healthy diet emphasizes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, poultry, fish, nuts, and non-tropical vegetable oils. Like I've said before, palm oil is like one of the worst oils. Don't.
Oh yeah, isn't that what they're
oil.
trying because of the orangutans, right?
I don't know.
Palm oil is killing the
I think the
gorillas?
Foresting for it?
I was going to say, I think deforesting.
But like, you're not supposed to get candy bars or buy candy bars that have palm oil in it, right?
Okay, there's two different things going on. One is because it's bad for your health, and one is because they're deforesting
where the gorillas live?
Yeah, I think.
Is it gorillas or
or the gorillas have gotten into the palm oil and they're having heart attacks? Is that your theory?
I'm not saying that's not my theory.
Okay.
What kind of oil do you cook with?
Olive oil.
Me too. Mostly, unless it's like something that I need to use a vegetable oil for. Oh, you know what I made yesterday that was really good?
What?
I bought these raw melon seeds from the Armenian market,
Okay.
and I roasted them with olive oil and salt.
Is it good?
So good. Like squash seeds. Like
Okay.
Sort of like from a
they're-
acorn squash.
They're already dried out.
Yes.
And
Already
then-
cleaned, like.
Yeah. And then you just put them in the oven.
I just put them on a couple sheet pans with parchment paper, roasted them.
Good.
Salt and pepper, just salt, a little olive oil. Delish.
Sounds good.
Very easy.
Sounds really good.
Anyway, heart healthy.
Yeah. Many diets, limiting red and processed meats, sodium, and sugar sweetened food and beverages. Well, sodium. Many diets fit the general description. For example, the DASH, dietary approaches to stop hypertension, eating plan promoted by the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, as well as diets suggested by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the AHA are heart-healthy approaches. Such diets can be adapted based on your cultural and food preferences.
Mediterranean diet, I think, is what they say is the healthiest diet.
Yes. Well, that's olive oil.
Yeah.
What is are they saying vegetable oil is better for you than olive oil?
Are they saying that? What are they saying?
Olives aren't tropical,
No.
so I don't think I've never heard anyone say olive oil is bad for you.
I would drink it.
But maybe, I don't know.
No, I can't imagine.
Being more physically active. A sedentary lifestyle lowers HDL, good cholesterol. Less HDL means there's less good cholesterol to remove bad cholesterol from your arteries. It's like a little Swiffer.
Yes.
The HDL just goes in and
Everything is pointing to you need to exercise.
yes.
Not you specifically, Danielle. You're
Right.
good. I think you're doing your duty.
Yeah.
I'm saying you in the general sense.
Right. Physical activity is important. At least, get this, 150 minutes, are you listening to this? Of moderate intensity aerobic exercise a week.
Yes, I'm trying to hit that.
So 150, that's 2.5 hours
Yeah.
a week.
No. 150 is
120 minutes. 120 minutes is 2
You're
hours.
right, you're right,
And
sorry.
then 30 minutes
I
left
don't,
over.
I don't think I'm hitting that.
2.5.
Am I hitting that? If it's 45 minutes to walk here each way, hell yeah, I am.
Yeah, you are. Good for you.
So
I think
I'm
I'm
sliding
I think
off.
I'm hitting that.
Good.
I mean, it's walking.
Well, brisk walk.
Yeah.
This is what counts.
Yeah.
Brisk walking, swimming, bicycling, or even vigorous yard work can fit the bill.
Okay. I think I'm getting there. There's an interesting quiz. We could gift it from the New York Times into our newsletter that is assessing your risk of developing dementia.
Oh, Jesus.
You'll do great. It's like, and that's one of them. The 150 minutes. Are you eating this many fruits and vegetables? Are
Okay.
you, like diet stuff and like doing sort of mental stimulation stuff? I think socializing, but and it assesses your risk in like, you can get up to 21 points, I think, or something. But I was happy I did really well.
Does it say word puzzles?
Yes.
Quitting smoking. Smoking and vaping lowers HDL cholesterol. Now, this is interesting because I thought the danger of smoking was that it tightened up your arteries. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it had actually anything to do with cholesterol, so I found this very interesting. Worse still, when a person with unhealthy cholesterol levels also smokes,
Yes.
the risk of coronary heart disease increases more than it otherwise would. Smoking also compounds the risk from other risk factors for heart disease, such as high blood pressure and diabetes. By quitting, smokers can lower their triglycerides and increase their HDL cholesterol levels. I had no idea.
It's interesting, too, because a lot of people will die from smoking, not from lung cancer, but from other ways it
Yeah.
affects their health, right? It's
Right.
not going to be like, well, I died from lung cancer. It's like, they smoked their whole lives and they didn't die from cancer. But it's like,
but right, they still had a heart attack.
yeah, but that killed them a different way.
Yeah. It can also help reduce damage and improve how their arteries function. Non-smokers should avoid exposure to secondhand smoke. Losing weight. Being overweight or obese tends to raise the chances of increasing bad cholesterol and lowering good cholesterol. But a weight loss of as little as 5 to 10%, there's those percentages again,
Making us do math.
may help improve some cholesterol numbers and other heart disease risk factors. Are you ready for a story?
Are you ready for some story?
So this is what we were talking about, genetics.
Oh.
The most unique aspect of my story is probably that I'm adopted.
Whoa, you are?
Not me. Brianna, though my brother used to tell me I was. Brianna grew up without her biological family history, and she didn't get her cholesterol checked until she was 18 years old. Even then, my LDL was 210, but no one told me or my mom that it was anything serious because I was a young, active kid who had been an athlete my whole life. As Brianna left for college and branching out on her own, she grew curious about her biological parents. Considering she chose to study genetics, it seemed reasonable she would be interested in her own inherited genes. I'm an adopted person who sought, I guess that's the new nomenclature.
Okay.
I'm an adopted oh, wait. Are we? I know you guys, you're watching English Teacher, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, it's so good.
I
So
love it. I'm not
good.
caught up, but if you want to tell me something about it,
No, I don't want to give anything away, but
Okay.
just the adopted person made me think of.
Is that the new episode?
No, it's the thing where the girl has suffering from, the
yeah.
student is suffering from something in class.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to give it away. It's too funny.
I will say, can I just say something
yes.
really quickly though? I understand the change of wanting to change the terminology only because as a person with epilepsy, if I hear someone say they're epileptic,
It bothers you
it really bothers me. It's
because it feels like it defines you or something.
because it's an ugly word that has so much ugliness and judgment around it, and it feels gross to me. But if you say I'm a person with epilepsy, it
Totally
humanizes
fair.
it. So I don't understand that necessarily,
Right.
But I understand the reasoning of like, I'm not that.
Right. It's just one aspect of you. It's not your whole definition.
It's like, it feels gross.
right.
Yeah. So I
Right.
get it. I get it.
Right. I understand. I'm an adopted person who sought to find out who their genetic family was, she explains. I know some adoptees are not always curious, but I definitely was. So I did the self-DNA testing. This led to her on a journey to meeting her birth mother and then her birth father. When I found him, we talked on the phone a bunch, and he was really great, she said. She also discovered half-siblings and some other surprising news. What tipped off alarm bells in my head was that when I asked about my medical history I should know, when I asked about any medical history I should know. I cannot read today. My birth father said he had had his first heart attack when he was 40, and he'd had multiple bypass surgeries. Brianna's father also told her his sister had a stroke in her late 30s, and his brother passed away in his 40s from a heart attack.
Whoa.
I know. Can you imagine just like discovering all this medical shit, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Great. So not like I'm related to a bunch of geniuses
Right.
who won Pulitzers?
Right. Right. Yeah.
That would have been better
exactly.
news.
When she told her friends and family about this surprising discovery, they told her that her newly discovered family had a different lifestyle, so it probably wasn't something she needed to worry about. But something in Brianna's gut told her this was not a coincidence. I looked back at my health records from when I was a child and found another time my cholesterol had been checked. It was 180, and no one had alerted her or her parents. So I started to put things together. I researched, formulated a hypothesis, and figured out I might have familial hypercholesterolemia, or FH. No one in her life had ever heard of FH. Brianna knew she wanted a physician who was finally going to take her seriously. She made an appointment with a cardiologist at Emory University who helped implement the Find FH program in that health system, Dr. Danny Epen. He said I was the first person who had come to him saying I had a FH and not the other way around. Dr. Epen immediately connected Brianna with the Family Heart Foundation. I was genuinely shocked that I'm getting my PhD in genetics and microbiology, but I didn't know FH is the most common autosomal dominant genetic disease there is. What a dumbass. How could she not know that?
Yeah, it's like,
her birth parents really were idiots.
Oh, jeez. What a dummy.
She points out that genetic component to cholesterol and lipids is not often taught. I understand they're advocating for people to eat better and to exercise, but because of that, I think for years the genetic component has been glossed over. As Brianna has looked over her journey and the places where her condition could have been caught, she uncovered a passion for raising awareness and changing systemic problems. If I had been a part of universal pediatric screening, I could have found this 2 decades earlier, she says. I spent 29 years not treating my FH at all. Unfortunately, the next part of Brianna's journey was not a happy one. On October 3rd, 2023, Brianna's birth father had a heart attack and passed away 3 weeks after his 58th birthday.
That's young.
Yeah. but apparently old for his family.
Yeah.
My birth father didn't know anything about FH. He just knew he had high cholesterol and cardiac issues, she explains. I feel very grateful I got to meet him one time, but I just feel like if he had known more earlier, I could have had more time with him.
Wow.
So yeah, when I was looking for stories, there were a lot of stories where like people who were like, I was thin, I exercised, I ate right, and my cholesterol was 400 when I was 10.
Wow.
Like crazy shit.
Yeah.
Because it's genetic, but you can take medicine, but you wouldn't even think to take medicine if you seem fit in every other way, right?
Yes. It is that weird thing too where that was a great story, by the way. And I loved the topic. I think if you look a certain way, doctors and people just don't they're like, you're fine.
Right.
It's like this weird thing that people don't look for the problem or see the problem if you present as okay.
It's interesting because when my dad had his heart attack, everyone was like, well, he runs and he exercises and he's fairly thin. And I don't know how well he ate, but everyone was like, oh, it's stress. But not in any of the research. I never mentioned the word stress.
No.
So maybe that's a myth.
Maybe that's a myth.
I don't know.
Yeah. Or it's not as big of a contributor as people think.
Yeah.
I don't like that stress gets used so much to explain things. It's
everything I've ever had has been, it must be stress.
So many doctors, it's the new hysteria for women where like when I've gone for pain or for my migraines, fibromyalgia stuff, it's like, do you have a lot of stress in your life? Yeah, I fucking have stress.
But who
Everybody has
doesn't?
stress.
Who doesn't?
Life is stress.
Right.
It's like if you have kids, you have a job, you have whatever bill, like we all have stress on some level, but like I'm not in a war zone. I'm privileged generally. I'm not worried about where
you were going to say you're privileged genetically, weren't you? Because you're so pretty.
Well, look,
you're going to say
I can't control who my parents were. They're good-looking people who got together, and it was a failed experiment.
But not in one way.
Not in the looks department.
Not in the looks department.
I can't help that.
Okay, and we will be right back with what did we? No, we're
No, we
not.
won't.
Holy shit! I skipped a. We'll be right back with our guest.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
Welcome back.
Oh, hello.
How was your break?
Fabulous, as always. Guess what I saw on the drive here?
I have no idea.
In the window of a pickup truck, I
Yeah.
saw a stuffed Mr. Bill.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, you got to be fucking old to know what that is. Like, I'm barely old enough to know what that, like,
Yeah.
that's like one of my earliest comedy memories.
same.
Like I'm a toddler basically going, oh no, Mr. Bill.
It's the
And I
Mr.
was
Bill
like,
Show.
Danielle will know that.
Yes, it's a Saturday Night Live original cast, I think, reference.
Yes.
It's probably, if you go back now, it's not funny, but at the time we thought it was hysterical.
I thought it was so funny.
It's like a little clay figure that they would just like
Smash.
roll over and stuff.
It was like the Cartman of our time.
Right. Well, speaking of that, actually, that's a very good intro for our guest, because on the first half of the show, we talked about high cholesterol. And now we're going to talk about a place where you often get high cholesterol, a state fair, with Hugh Fink. Hi, Hugh.
Hello,
Hey,
Hugh.
Danielle. Hey, Christine.
Thanks for coming.
So
Great to be here.
The reason I said it was a good segue is because Hugh used to be a writer on SNL.
Oh my God, legend.
And he's a stand-up comedian, and he is my boss on the WGA Awards, which I talk about on a regular basis.
Because you're one of the greatest writers the awards has ever had.
Please, you're so sweet. There's only two of us.
So funny, right?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I've met so many funny people in this town, and the funniest.
And she can write for a lot of different voices.
Yes.
Which is a talent.
Yeah, it really is. Some
Yes.
people can only write in their own voice.
Correct.
Yeah, and I have no comedic voice of my own, so it's great. I'm
That's
just a
not true.
conduit
That's
for
not
other people's.
But it is a skill.
Yeah, yeah. We had quite an experience this year. But so how are you?
I am good.
Yes. Are you?
I'm well.
Are you prepping for the next award show?
As best as one can, honestly, until you and I are told we're doing it.
I know we have to every year. It's
I
like a waiting
try
game.
to-
They say like, "Are you doing it? Are
okay.
we not doing it?"
Right.
Yeah.
But of course, knowing that the Emmys happened recently and
Yeah.
other award shows, it's kind of in the back of my mind.
Right.
But I try not to get too invested
Yeah.
until it's time.
Hugh, can I ask, because I think the audience would like to know, what seasons or group were you in with SNL?
Great question. The easiest answer, the Will Ferrell years.
Oh, nice.
I literally started and left Will's first and last show.
How fun.
That's
So
amazing.
at the time, those of us who were on the show then were like, yeah, this is good. I think as time's gone on, it's
Yes.
something to be even more proud of.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
There's a great cast.
Yeah.
And there was some good writing during those years, and it held up as
For
one of those
sure.
periods of the show.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Did you have fun while you were doing it?
I did mostly have fun, which is more than
What a lot of people
can
say.
say.
Yeah.
Hey, I was there 7 years,
Yeah.
so that's twice as long as the average writer stays.
Yeah, for sure.
So I did have a lot of fun, and obviously by the time I left, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
But
It's brutal, right?
It's brutal, but the longer I've been gone, and I did go back as a guest writer recently, so that was fun.
Fun.
But with that said, I still recognize there's a time and place to have your career at SNL.
Yes.
And when you get busy with other creative and personal things, it's probably no longer viable to stay there.
There's a certain time to do it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You can't. I mean, you can't. It can't be a side gig. Like it's
No.
so intensive,
and
right?
if you stay too long, I think it could do some collateral damage.
Because you're only thinking in one way.
You're only thinking one way, and also the politics and pressure of the show, you just succumb to it and go,
Yeah.
this is my life, where it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
Conan O'Brien told me that, this is several years ago, that he still was in therapy discussing having nightmares about the show.
Are you serious?
And I get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was a writer on the show. I wonder if it's more pressure to be a writer or a performer on the show, or if it's just its own.
I think they're
the same.
equally.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, congratulations that's really the brass ring, I think, of comedy writing.
Yeah. No kidding.
And the fact that you had that experience is so impressive. Like, that's very cool.
Thank you. And it did definitely lead to continue to work
Absolutely.
with really cool people
Of
and
course.
projects. So I
Yeah.
value that as well.
Absolutely.
And hopefully I'll be at the 50th anniversary.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Invitations are not nearly going out until they
Wait,
usually
it's
wait.
soon. When is
It's
it?
gonna be, I hear February.
Hope it doesn't interfere with the awards.
That's true.
But you are here to tell us a story about surviving a state fair.
Several Indiana state fairs.
Okay. boy.
You're from Indiana.
I am. The Indiana State Fair, it's a Midwestern agricultural state, so the
Yes.
state fair is very prominent. At the time, it was like next to Texas, the second largest fair in the United States.
Okay.
Since then, other places have gotten bigger fairs.
Okay.
But it still has its place as a famous state fair. So when I was a little kid, I grew up hearing from my parents, oh, the state fair, before you were born, there was a popcorn explosion that killed 56 people and injured 400. And I looked it up before I came to do the interview with you, and that's exactly what happened.
They weren't just
There
making
were-
it up to scare
No,
you.
there were 3 propane gas tanks that had never been inspected. They're just sitting in a fucking storage room
Yes.
by the concessions, and it started leaking.
Oh, my gosh.
And one of them caught to the popcorn machine, which then set off this chain reaction.
Had your parents survived this?
They survived it. Well, they didn't tell me if they'd been to the fair that year, but they were just like, oh, the state fair. to say. Because you hear that a popcorn machine killed that many people. It's terrifying.
Such a dangerous place.
Dangerous.
It's like, do you know the molasses explosion in Boston?
Yeah.
It's like
literally
the streets were flowing with boiling molasses and it killed people.
Wow.
It feels like something you could get away from.
I know, that's the joke, but gosh, I read a whole book about it, believe it or not. Anyway, okay, so it was a daunting place.
It's a daunting place. So I had already heard then my parents announced to me, we're going to go to the state fair. And I was already a bit, I wasn't an erotic kid, but that sort of, the place where all the people, and I, of course, in my mind.
Kills people?
And here's the other thing. It happened during the Holiday on Ice show, during the finale. So that's just so rich. You just picture, in my mind, just watching these lame skaters and some Disney-esque music.
Yes.
And then, so I had this strong visual of it. So I go to the state fair, and as one can guess by hearing Indiana State Fair, it was the sort of the amalgam of people who didn't take care of themselves, farmers, rednecks, because Indiana borders Kentucky.
Okay.
A lot of rednecks. And just, it felt not pure. Something about it was just
A little scary.
a little scary.
I'm from Ohio. I know.
You know, yeah.
I've been to a state fair.
A little scary.
And how old were you around?
I'm going to say I was probably like 7.
Okay.
Yeah. And the first thing I noticed was they had, because it was back in the era where having mechanical recordings of like cartoon figures seemed really cool.
Oh, okay.
So they had a trash can with like a gigantic pig.
Uh-huh.
And it had a recording going like, "That's right, put your trash in here.
That's terrifying.
Porky loves trash."
Oh, God.
And I became mesmerized.
horrifying.
But I would stand there. This is what's so sick. I'd stand there for 20 minutes to see how long did the tape loop go before Porky would repeat himself. Like how much dialogue was written to just go. And what I loved was they did that thing like, "Step right up, sir. That's right." It's a woman standing there.
Right.
But they just tried to guess how many people would show up. So that was my first memory.
Okay.
Was, this is Indiana's version of Disneyland.
They did not have iPads back then.
No.
So kids were just looking for entertainment wherever
And
they could
entertainment.
get it. Yeah.
Then my first memory, because state fairs are famous for food, as you mentioned, a lot of unhealthy stuff. And there was a stand that said, and I will interrupt this story to say, I remembered this story so vividly that the first time I did David Letterman as a comedian, they asked me, if he calls you over, what story would you like to tell? And this is the story I knew I wanted to tell Dave.
Amazing.
Because Dave's, for your listeners, he's from Indianapolis, my hometown.
Right.
So I knew he would find it good. So I saw a stand that said, "Genuine Italian fried chicken." And even as a 7-year-old, I smelled a rat. There's no Italians in Indiana. They're just exploiting the name to fool people.
Yes.
So I, being who I was as a kid, went right up to the stand, and it was this woman working. I said, "Excuse me, what's the difference between Italian fried chicken and American fried chicken?" And this look crossed her face like no one had ever asked her. She goes, "Well, Italian fried chicken's very, very good."
Way to improvise.
Okay.
Whoa.
There's a selling point.
Yes.
As opposed to American fried chicken that's terrible. Italian fried chicken is very, very good.
Oh my God, that's
So
fantastic.
it's one of those non-joke punchlines, but I knew that Letterman would love it.
Yeah.
So of course, when I told the story to him, he just kept repeating, "It's very, very good." He loved it.
I can hear him.
You could do it.
Saying
All right, so that's my first time at the fair.
Okay.
I go back a few years later. Now I have more of an edge, and I'll admit this.
Preteen.
They had a Midway. This is back in the days where they had freak shows.
Oh, wow.
And I remember feeling very guilty with my friends of like, do we pay to go see this? And we decided to do it.
That's pretty self-aware, though, at that age.
No, I mean, we didn't feel so good about it, but we were like curious.
Of course.
So it had like a carnival barker standing outside.
Yeah.
But the big thing that was advertised was Alligator Girl.
Oh,
God.
And they had
I pay to see that.
You did see it. You would. You did or would?
I would.
You would, right. So, so they had a carnival worker with a megaphone going like, step right up. She's alive. She's real. She's alligator girl. That's right, folks. Born, unfortunately, with some type of medical issue. She's part alligator and part.
Know what it
So
is.
like exactly like I was.
We
and I
don't
was-
even know.
I remember being scared. Like, is it going to look like an alligator,
Yes.
but the voice of a girl, or
Yeah.
like what does that even
Alligator
mean?
head, lady body.
Correct. So we walk in, and there's this middle-aged woman seated like at a desk or something. We're all crowded around, and she has one of those amplified mics. And she just starts telling her story that she was born with this weird, it's a skin ailment that makes her skin look like leathery and like alligators. But here's what I want to share with you. I looked it up before I came over here just to get my facts right.
Yes.
In the Wikipedia page, it says, much like an alligator, she had 7 children.
What?
Really? I didn't know that's the standard of judging how many kids people have and what alligators have. That's the most condescending, rude thing ever. Much like an alligator. That seems like a stretch, doesn't it?
Wait a second. Wait a second. There was a Wikipedia entry for this woman. This woman.
This woman. Can I read it to you?
Yes,
I pulled it up. I
please.
took a
I'm
photo of it.
dying.
Yeah. I wanted to get this right.
But also,
That's the only reason
was,
she's alligator
was it
girl.
alarming to see her skin?
It was. It was alarming.
Oh,
and I
wow.
want to add, she appeared in the movie, which I had seen, The Sentinel.
I don't know.
You know the film.
I do.
What is The Sentinel?
That's the one where I think Jeff Goldblum's in it, and
Okay.
there's like a one of the apartments has like a priest sitting in it.
Okay.
And maybe he dies and something comes out like a demon or something,
Yeah, she played a demon.
then yes.
Oh my God.
So they
That's a great
cast her.
movie.
No wonder
because
she
of
has her own Wikipedia.
Exactly.
Yes.
So her real name was Esther Blackman,
Okay.
a.k.a. the alligator. She was born in North Carolina with a condition called ichthyosis, characterized by dry, scaly skin, no hair, hence her designation as the alligator girl.
Wow.
Yeah. The following year, let's see,
Is it on her face too?
I just remember it in her.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not a picture of
Yeah,
her?
it says she gave birth to her first child and began billing herself as the world's strangest mother. Here's the sentence I wanted to highlight to you. This is actually what she proved to be nearly as prolific as an actual alligator, giving birth to a total of
my
7
God.
children. When did the standard be? Well, how many kids compared to an alligator have you had?
So who's writing? I mean, like
That just seems rude.
Who's writing Wikipedia?
Right.
I mean, there's a reason they are asking for our donation.
Yeah, that's
right
good.
at the top.
That's hysterical.
But okay, here's the part I will confess, because I know people confess these on your show.
Yes.
do.
Is
Big
that
time.
me and my friend, she did Q&As. So I, being mean, and there's all these people together, did that. I'm going to start asking her questions as if I'm really ignorant. Like, she's alligator,
Yes.
but she's a woman who has the skin.
oh no.
So I'm like, so what kind of plankton do you eat? Do you eat, like, is it raw fish, or do you eat other sea creatures? And my buddy's laughing. And she just went up to me and goes, I'm as normal as you or anybody. I like burgers. Like, she didn't miss a beat.
Yes.
Yeah, but looking back on
Right.
it, like, how terrible that I would ask that question.
Now, when you lay eggs,
Exactly.
God.
I just wanted to ask a continuation of, like, that I'm not getting it. That I think she's mostly alligator with a little bit of
it
girl.
does seem like an SNL sketch. Just like, she's mostly alligator.
Can I throw some Italian fried chicken?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, a few years later, my father, who was a prominent attorney in Indianapolis and did a lot of work for the ACLU, the ACLU decided to have a booth at the Indiana State Fair.
No.
Because a lot of other organizations had booths at the fair, recruiting people. So they applied for a booth, and they were rejected on political grounds. Now, you don't fuck with the ACLU.
Right.
This is their expertise.
Yeah.
So my father was the attorney who had the case to file a lawsuit to force the fair to give them a booth.
Yeah.
Amazing.
They were 100% in the legal right.
Yes.
So they succumbed.
Yeah.
Who volunteers to work the booth for the ACLU?
You.
Yeah, I'm like 13, 14 years old.
Wow.
And I get some friends of mine to do it. But it's almost like the State Fair knew how to punish us. I kid you not. They put us within 10 feet of the ROTC recruiting.
Oh.
So think about Indiana military people, this is post-Vietnam War.
Yeah.
They're coming by and seeing Civil Liberties Union, and we're selling books like The Rights of Gay People, The Rights of Students, like very,
Sure.
Progressive, yeah.
Progressive. And so all these Hoosiers are glaring at me. And I remember some guy came and goes, it's a goddamn communist outfit you're working for, just lecturing me. But the great thing was my friend Matt, who was older than me, he was already getting high. And I think he was like on MESC or something. Oh, my God. So he decided he would torment the ROTC booth by going up to them and saying he wanted to apply to join the military. Now, this guy was like scrawny, high, and they were like not having any of it. But they knew he was working with the booth with us.
I bet the ROTC didn't have to sue to appear at the
Hell
State
no,
Fair.
they'd be embraced.
Right.
Yes.
But it was so ballsy that the Civil Liberties Union had a booth
Amazing.
at the State Fair.
Did you guys get anyone interested in your booth?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
That's what was cool. We did. And what I loved, too, was that it was free admission.
Yeah,
So
sure.
by me volunteering to be in the booth, I'd work for 4 hours, then I'd go have fun at the fair.
Nice. You get to make fun of some people with skin conditions.
Right, dude. Things that the ACLU would be so proud of me.
Love it.
Love it.
You get to guess how much the woman weighs.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this is all culminating in the highlight of my life at the Indiana State Fair was I did have a bar mitzvah in Indiana, which I know is kind of a contradiction in terms.
Yeah.
Although you're from, and I was really into comedy, just like all of us. And so the present I wanted from my parents was to go see Rich Little perform
Oh my God,
at the Indiana State Fair.
Yes.
Yes.
And he was co-headlining with Olivia Newton-John.
Whoa.
Wait, what year is this?
I'm going to say 75.
Okay.
Xanadu.
Xanadu. She was
No, this is before all that.
Xanadu hadn't happened yet. Okay.
She was huge, though, at the time.
Yeah.
So my parents, we had a big party for my bar mitzvah, but the deal was I'd get to leave my own party
Yeah.
to go to the Indiana State Fair because it was a Saturday night show.
That's
And
hysterical.
so I invited a few friends of mine, and we went to the Indiana State Fair to the venue where the popcorn explosion machine was.
Yes.
This is all coming around. The
Must have been so
Coliseum.
traumatic for your parents to let
No,
you go to that.
they were fine.
Can I have a moment of silence for the popcorn
Yeah.
victims?
And as I've often said, that the only thing more tragic in the Coliseum than that explosion was seeing Rich Little perform with Olivia Newton-John. That may have been more painful.
Was it bad? You loved it
I
'cause you were
loved
13.
it. Exactly, because I knew him from television.
Yeah.
He was the
Yeah.
first really television comedian I'd ever seen in
Yeah.
person. I like doing voices, so I like the fact that he did
Yes.
Nixon
Yes.
and stuff, right?
Right.
So it seemed really cool. But I will say the crowd was so much more into Olivia Newton-John.
I bet.
That's who they were there for, right?
Definitely. She was an international star. But it's kind of amazing that he co-headlined with her.
Yeah. So for those of you too young to know, Rich Little was a stand-up, mostly an impressionist, not particularly funny, and I don't know if he was particularly good at impressions. He did like two
He did
well,
too. His Nixon was good.
and he did like John Wayne or something.
and he did a good Johnny Carson
Right.
before anybody else had done an impression of Carson.
Right,
He had
right.
zero edge. The material was terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you in your stand-up career ever had to perform at a fair or anything like that?
Think about that. The Temecula Balloon Festival. It's a nightmare.
Wow.
Held at like
Hot air balloon festival?
Hot air balloon festival. So it is a fair.
Yeah.
There's food booths and churros and kids, but it's families, it's little kids,
Yeah.
and it's at 2 p.m. Hey, let's do a stand-up show. Outside at 85 degrees, outside San Diego. Nightmare.
People want to see comedy at 2 p.m.
Exactly. But I
That's
always make the
clean.
distinction to people
Yeah.
who are like, did you bomb? I go, no, here's the thing. Bombing means you have a receptive audience
Right.
that wants to laugh and you suck
Yes.
and they don't laugh. If no one listens to what you're saying,
Right.
you're not bombing.
Exactly.
You're just being ignored.
I do think it does, like, in a way, if you've had these experiences of like bombing on stages and have people just not laughing or just not paying attention, it gives you a kind of like resilience for life.
For sure.
In a way that you're just like, when other kind of things happen, you're like, oh yeah, I've been through worse. Like, I've had experiences that are, more humiliating this.
Yeah,
you know,
right, exactly.
That
For
other
sure.
people kind of can't relate to when they're just like, oh, and then this person ignored me at a party and I just felt so embarrassed. And I'm like, that's not a big
Try
deal.
performing in front of hot air
Yeah.
balloons.
Yeah.
And they
Exactly.
are stone-faced.
Yes.
Stone face.
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, Hugh, that was hysterical. Thank you so much.
Sure, that sort of encapsulates my various years at the Indiana State Fair.
Well, Hugh, thank you so much. This
was-
was so much fun. I'm so glad we got to have you
fun.
on.
And listen, again, the fact that I had to do a little research and find that when you women give birth and have more than one or two kids,
I know.
like only an alligator does that.
yeah.
Like, that's amazing. Women and alligators. It's just
We have so much
fascinating.
in common. You know, we also, if we get angry, we'll pull somebody into a lake
Much like an alligator.
and spin them,
Oh.
twist them until they die.
That's so women and alligators actually are kind of simpatico.
Yeah,
Don't
and I
ever
do
realize.
have pretty dry skin. I have to
Yeah.
use Lubriderm. All right, well, we will be right back after this with What Did We Learn Today? Thank you, Hugh.
Canva presents your work horoscope for this week. Deadlines are in retrograde, which we all know can bring some intense energy. Our advice: fend off this forecast with Canva. Like Canva whiteboards to counter creative blocks, and Canva docs for clarity in communications. If you have any sales deals coming through, results will be in your favor with Canva presentations, manifesting many wins for you. It's a great week to love your work at canva.com.
This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you if people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else? Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.
Christine,
Danielle.
are you ready to learn what we learned
I'm
today?
a seeker of knowledge.
Apples and Bananas, or Ooples and Bununus, is a traditional North American children's song that plays with the vowels of words. Scottish musicians Cilla Fisher and Artie Trezise included the song on their 1982 album and book The Singing Kettle. Canadian musician Rafi released a version of the song on his album, One Light, One Sun. The version only changed the stressed vowels, that is, the vowels in eat, apples, and the last two syllables of bananas. The song was described as one of several old favorites performed by Sandra Beach from her 1982 album Inch by Inch in 1984 in the Ottawa Citizen.
That kind of makes no sense.
No, that's okay.
Ralphie wasn't first.
Yeah,
He
that's what I'm
copied.
thinking.
What we're saying is Rafi copied.
It's a standard. It's in the Great American Songbook.
Yes.
Left arm pain is a possible symptom of a heart attack. The nerves that branch from the heart and those coming from the arm send signals to the same brain cells. Oh.
Thank you,
As a
Karen.
result, the brain cannot isolate the source of the pain. Wait, what? So it's really the pain is happening in your heart, but you think it's happening in your arm?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Unstable angina is why some voters claim they don't want Kamala in the White House.
I believe that.
Stents can be made of metal, mesh, fabric, silicone, or combinations of materials. Stents for coronary arteries are usually made of metal mesh and sometimes covered with another material. Fabric stents, or stent grafts, are used in larger arteries such as the aorta. That's why I go to Joann's Fabrics for my stents.
And you know, they always honor coupons.
Always don't, even if it's old, you
Yeah.
should try.
The app.
Get the app. I
Oh.
actually did have the app for a while. Joann's Fabrics.
I have the app and Michael's apps because they always have tons
Oh.
of coupons.
Michael's has good stuff too. Palm oil is a major threat to orangutans because the demand for it has led to the destruction of their habitat, not
Okay.
because it's clogging their arteries.
They're just eating so many Mars bars that you gotta stop, guys. Stop buying Mars bars for orangutans.
While both olive oil and vegetable oil contains a healthy amount of unsaturated fatty acids, olive oil contains higher amounts of monounsaturated fats like oleic acid, linoleic acid, and palmitic acid, which vegetable oil is rich, while vegetable oil is richer in omega-6 polyunsaturated fats.
Use both.
So does that mean that it's not as healthy
I think it is kind of,
on par?
yeah.
6 of one, half a dozen the other.
Yep. Smoking has a detrimental effect on cholesterol and health, but you look really cool doing it, so maybe it's worth it. I think it's something to consider.
I think it might be worth it.
A study. What? But you know what never looks cool? Vaping.
Yeah.
Vaping is like
it's so lame.
The anti-cool.
I don't mind like the little weed pens. Those, but the people
because you think weed is so cool, Garen.
You know, if you're not smoking weed, you're a fucking loser. No, but the guys who go out like fucking dragons and they're like, that's.
Wait, what do you mean dragons?
Like
with so much vape
these huge
coming
vape
out.
clouds. I mean, they can do cool tricks with it.
Oh,
but you look kind of.
But they don't. That's the thing. I never see them doing smoke rings.
No,
I don't think you can do the same kind of tricks though with a vape as you can with real cigarette smoke, which again we've established is always 100% of the time cool.
Yeah.
Besides smoke rings, there's other things you can do with a cigarette?
Well, you can do like a French thing where you go up one nose hole or go up both nose holes.
Hey, can you do that?
I mean, it's been a lot of years. When I was 12, I was a master.
Oh my God.
Should have seen me in my Kiss shirt.
You should have been at the state fair, just in your own booth doing that.
Moccasins and my leather jacket with fringe.
Wow, that's quite a picture you're painting.
My fringe bangs.
There's a lot of fringe going on.
Listen to Motley Crue with my guys. I have to tell you that when I was in 5th grade, I used to take a boombox to school and walk around the playground and play "Shout at the Devil."
Wait, what?
I just remembered.
Wait a second,
guys.
Like, did other people gather around you? No. You were just by yourself doing this?
I mean, I didn't not have friends, but.
You went through the hassle of bringing a huge boombox to school, like every day?
No, I just remember. I just have that memory of my boombox.
Maybe it was just
being on the playground, playing "Shout at the Devil."
Amazing.
6 cigarettes in your mouth.
Yeah, just
ones to pass out to your friends.
Shouldn't a school counselor been like, "We're worried."
My God,
you reek of cigarette smoke. I don't think in 5th grade I reeked of cigarette smoke. That wasn't until late.
Yeah,
that wasned until middle school. But
you just looked at her in her face. You dropped your cigarette to the ground. You stomped it out and said, "What?"
You talking to me? I also sounded like I was from Brooklyn.
Amazing, amazing. Mr. Bill is a clay figurine star of a parody of children's movies. Created. Okay, I'm going to read this again. Mr. Bill is a clay figurine star of a parody of children's movies created by Walter Williams in 1974. The Mr. Bill show got its start on Saturday Night Live as a series of Super 8 films sent in response to the show's request for home movies during the first season. I didn't know that. So the show didn't create it. Mr. Bill's first appearance occurred on the February 28th, 1976 episode. After 5 submitted films, Williams became a full-time writer for the show.
Nice.
Jesus, in 1978, and wrote more than 20 sketches based on Mr. Bill. I wonder if he wrote other stuff or if he only wrote Mr. Bill.
Yeah, I mean, we were 5. So
it was hysterical, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, for one, how are we even seeing, like, we were up watching SNL when we were 5?
It was just in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, I think honestly, it was in the zeitgeist.
I don't think I was watching it. It was in the zeitgeist.
Because I knew about it.
I remember seeing the sketches. Like, I remember seeing it, though. Some level I saw it.
Maybe in reruns.
Yeah, maybe in reruns.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, Cooper Hoffman, plays Dick Ebersol in Jason Reitman's Saturday Night.
Who's Dick Ebersol? Like a producer or something?
He's a TV producer, and I believe that fateful year Lorne Michaels left SNL, Dick Ebersol took over, and it was a resounding night, just a nightmare. I mean, it was just bad.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I didn't realize he was always on the show, so maybe he's just one of the other producers. In 1977's The Sentinel, a New York City model with a troubled past, Allison Parker, decides to make some changes in her life. Breaking up with her boyfriend, Michael, Allison relocates to an apartment in a brownstone building where the only other tenant is a withdrawn blind priest. After experiencing strange occurrences, Allison begins to realize why the holy man is present. The building has an evil presence that must be kept in check at all costs.
I think that's the movie where Beverly D'Angelo plays like a lesbian.
Whoa.
It's real. I love that
I bet
movie.
she's really beautiful in it.
Yeah, I think it's like one of her first movies.
So you like it. It's a good movie.
I love it. Yeah. Well, I love culty demon shit.
Yes.
So
it stars Beverly D'Angelo and the alligator lady.
The alligator lady, Jeff Goldblum, I believe, is in it. Who's the guy from Fright Night?
You're asking the wrong room.
Oh, I know. It's the guy, Chris Sarandon?
Yes, I think he's her boyfriend.
Okay.
And
I
Jeff
love
Goldblum's
Chris
like a
Sarandon.
photographer.
I didn't know he was in Fright Night.
Have you seen the remake with Colin Farrell?
I don't like scary movies.
It's fun, though. It's like scary fun. It's not
Really?
scary, like... I think it's scary fun, don't you?
The remake?
Yeah.
I think it's less scary fun than the original, but it's the same kind of campy thing.
I don't remember. It's campy, scary fun. And it's Colin Farrell. That reminds me... I don't know. Never mind. I lost it.
It doesn't?
It went away.
Sorry.
It does remind me of something else, though. One of our wonderful listeners and Patreon supporters, Ben, I'm just going to say K. No, that's not it. It's Ben T. I don't want to say his last name because maybe he doesn't want his last name said. He's got to return my email if he wants his prize that he won on the bonus episode.
Yeah, Ben.
Come
get
on,
it together.
Ben. I know you're listening. I see you liking posts on Patreon. So maybe you just don't know. Oh, maybe it went to spam. Maybe my email to you went into spam.
Oh, so check your spam.
Check your spam.
I had for the first time something go into spam that was should have gone to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was because the person address, did my email address, but it was all in caps.
Ah.
For some reason, that went to spam.
That set off the trigger of like, this is not a real person.
But the weird thing is that I always get emails from a company or something that will be in a different color. Do you ever get this? It's like in a light color. And then it says load remote content. And then when I click load remote content, then it says junk.
Yes.
Move to junk.
Huh. I don't know. 99% of my
gets this?
emails are junk.
Okay.
I just want to be done with email.
Right.
Let's get rid of it. It's going away.
It is?
Anyway, I think so.
Email?
I think so. It feels like it's becoming more obscure. People just don't want to email anymore.
Oh, I conduct a lot of business over email. All of it. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what to say anymore about this.
Have you guys seen the trailer for the Rory Culkin movie with Jesse Eisenberg?
No.
It looks really good.
I like one of those people.
You don't like both of them?
No.
Oh.
Is it because Jesse Eisenberg doesn't own a TV? Because that's why I don't like him.
He gets in all his like at New Yorker shouts that he gets published, and I'm just like, it's because you're Jesse Eisenberg.
What? Explain to me what New Yorker shouts are.
The funny essays that people get, like shouts and murmurs.
Are they funny? No.
Well, he wrote this movie, so
that's a matter of opinion.
Does he really need the $25 you get from publishing? Like he can't let someone else?
I think it's not about the money.
I know. I understand that. I'm just saying. It's like it's so hard to get in those things. It's so hard to get published.
Getting in the New Yorker is like,
and then it's like, oh, that sucks. I don't like that. So is this look like a good movie?
Oh yeah, it looks really good. They're like brothers going to Poland or something.
Jesse Eisenberg and Rory Culkin.
Yeah.
Rory, the littlest Culkin.
Yeah.
Okay.
The tiniest Culkin in the Culkin bunch.
Yeah, he was good in was it the David Koresh? No, it was some. I think it was Koresh. It was some cult miniseries.
Oh, I don't think I saw it.
John Leguizamo.
I feel like I see all the cult movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Koresh. Yeah. All right.
Well, we've done a good job.
We've done a lot.
I think I'm going to
more than our share.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Garen.
Until next time,
remain calm.